Me and my sister-in-law gave birth at the same time, but she secretly swapped her daughter for my son. I raised that girl like my own. She was smart and got great grades. Everyone envied me, saying I had such a wonderful daughter. But the moment this girl, who shared zero blood with me, inherited everything, she turned around and teamed up with her real mom to have me killed. Turns out the whole thing was their mother-daughter scheme all along. Then I woke up. I'd been reborn, right back to when I was in labor. This time I was going to protect my baby with everything I had. There was no way I'd ever raise another ungrateful snake again. Bright lights pierced through my eyelids and jolted my consciousness awake. I opened my eyes and I was back in the delivery room. Before I could even process being reborn, the contractions hit hard and snapped me right back to reality. No time to think about the past. First things first, I had to deliver this baby safely. When I heard my baby's loud cry, I couldn't afford to let my guard down for even a second. I forced myself to stay awake. Last time, my sister-in-law and I were both in labor at the same time. I was weak after delivery and completely alone. I hadn't even gotten a chance to see whether I'd had a boy or a girl. Before I knew it, I passed out. When I came to, they told me I'd had a girl. That's exactly when my sister-in-law made her move. She secretly swapped my son. This time around, the moment my son was born, I was going to protect him. I would never let that tragedy of being torn from my own flesh and blood happen again. Congratulations, Chen Shiking. It's a boy, 6 Bs 3 As, perfectly healthy. I couldn't take my eyes off my son, not even for a second, until the midwife brought him right over to me. Just like last time. My son was fair-skinned and a little wrinkly, with thick dark hair. Nothing like that girl, who'd had thin, yellowish hair. My sister-in-law and I were originally due a week apart, but neither of us expected we'd both go into early labor. I was a week early, and she was 2 weeks early. But here's what was suspicious. She wasn't even close to her due date yet. But she used the excuse of late-stage pregnancy to get her mom up from their hometown early. Looking back now, it's hard not to think she'd planned the entire baby swap in advance. Lucky for me, I'd pulled some strings ahead of time and booked a private room so I could actually recover properly. So after delivery, the nurses took me and my sister-in-law to separate rooms. My mother-in-law was already waiting in my room. Last time, when my mother-in-law found out my sister-in-law had a boy and I had a girl, she took one quick look and rushed off to tend to my sister-in-law, leaving me to sleep alone. Meanwhile, the baby was left crying in the crib with nobody around. I figured she just preferred boys, but I couldn't believe that this time around she still ditched me to go take care of my sister-in-law. I know I'm not the warmest person, but I've always been respectful and filial to family. I'm capable, I make good money, and I've never slacked on showing my in-laws respect. But in my mother-in-law's eyes, I was arrogant, like I looked down on everyone because of my success and family background. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, had a laid-back job and spent way more time around my mother-in-law. She was sweet, charming, and had my mother-in-law completely wrapped around her finger. A little while later, my mother-in-law came back, took one look at my son, and started in on me. Why did you only get a private room for yourself? Wanwan's baby is a Wei family child too, you know. Right now, she's stuck with my precious granddaughter. In that loud, chaotic 3-person ward. How can you be so selfish? Mom, if you're that worried, go talk to the nurses and see if they can work something out. This room was a special favor from my brother. There's absolutely nothing I can do about getting another one. I pulled the blanket over myself and turned away, pretending to sleep. My mother-in-law let out a cold snort, stormed out of the room, and made sure to slam the door on her way out, just to make a point. Once she was gone, I picked up my phone and called my brother. My mom passed away when I was little, and my dad was always buried in work, so my brother was the one who raised me. Sure, I missed out on a mother's warmth, but my brother always had my back in every way possible. Bro, I went into labor early. It's a boy. I'm already in my room. The director at the hospital already called me. I'm driving